Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 6. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am. We're getting right back into things, and I did do a little bit of work off camera. You might already be able to pick up some of the things that we had done. I'll run through it in just a second here. But I wanted to give a brief overview of what I'm thinking we're going to do today, and a recap of what we have done. So we're going into episode 14, I believe, already, which is pretty crazy. And I feel like we've made some good progression. Now, there were some comments that had been left around how we're starting to get into a grind on a singular mod, and it's probably smart to start branching out. And I 100% agree. Maybe mix it up a little bit. We do actually have a zombie that's chilling out here. There are monsters nearby. I don't know where he is. I think he's down below us, if I'm not mistaken. There he be. Get him taken out. Oh, is there another one? Oh, no. He was alone. Gotta turn my headphone volume down a little bit here, though. A little bit too loud for me in my ears. You guys will hear it just fine, but for me, it's a little bit too noisy. But anyway, we've been working a lot with immersive engineering, and I have really been digging it. We've gotten really, really far with things. I feel like, at least, there's a lot more for us to do, and I've really been trying to take my time with it, just because. Again, and I've said it a gajillion times, so I'll keep saying it over and over again. We're taking our time with this pack. So, that is why we've been dedicating a lot of time to it. I've also been really enjoying it. I've never gotten this far into immersive engineering, and so it's a really fun time for me to go through and be able to test everything out. Now, as you can see, we've been accumulating quite a bit creosote oil here. We've been running our coke oven here pretty much non-stop. We needed to get a lot of coal coke in order to get this HOP graphite dust. This is you get this, one of them per 8 coal coke dust, or coke dust in general. You get that from grinding it up in a grinder. Some weird noises, man. Oh, we got a wraith out here. See that too often. So we had to get, I think it was about 90 something coal coke on its own, just to make up the amount of HOP graphite we're going to need, or hop graphite we're going to need, in order to get to the actual ingots up and going. So you can get ingots from this. This is in looking forward to actually getting a arc furnace up and going, or arc smeltery up and going. That's the whole goal of it, right? And we need to take these and cook them up to make the graphite ingots. Now, unfortunately, we do need to use an induction smelter for this, so we are going to be getting into thermal series, but we've been doing a lot of tech stuff, I feel like, recently. So I kind of want to switch it up, per recommendation as well. Maybe get into some magic, or maybe just do some adventuring in general, right? We've done quite a bit of stuff with machines in the past couple of episodes, and I feel like it's time that we go out into the world again and have some fun. Now, recap real quick on a few things I have done. I did upgrade some of this stuff here to high voltage capacitors. So we do have some more storage over here. It's interesting that it's sitting at 3.9 and not higher. I don't know if it's not getting a charge. We'll have to go out there and look. But I did upgrade these to high voltage wiring. I realize there's no insulated high voltage wire, and you want to be extremely careful with this stuff because it's not insulated and it's high voltage, and it will kill you really, really quickly. So you want to be careful with it. I might downgrade it to just medium voltage, because high voltage might be a little bit overkill. But I just wanted to test it out and see how it would work, right? Just kind of give it a go. Like I mentioned, we got a lot of creosote oil building up there. And then the other thing that I got fed up with is our inventory system. I didn't get fed up with it enough to completely change it, but just to the point where I figured, hey, let's kind of consolidate. Let's upgrade some of these chests to these golden chests from the Iron Chests mod, and kind of get the ball rolling with some better storage. Then I went ahead and I also upgraded our speed in here, so now we have high speed modules in here, which should hopefully make getting things out of our inventories a lot quicker. So like, let's say we need an iron. Let's go for iron. I think this will make it quick. Like if I just requested one, I think it'll be relatively quick. Yeah, I felt like that was pretty quick. And I think we can stack them, can we not? Like if I take this one off of here, can I put another one in here? Okay, no. No, you cannot. You can pick it up if you double click. But there we go. So I'm pretty content with it. This graphite dust, we're going to be using it down the line. We don't need it this very second, so hold on to it. The other thing I did go ahead and do is I upgraded our diamond pickaxe, or our pickaxe, should say in general. It is now a diamond pickaxe via Tetra. I'd like to get into Tetra just a little bit more, but not right now. I don't think tools are like the biggest thing on our, or should be the biggest thing on our mind right now. So with that being said, I think we're going to actually go out in the world a little bit. There's some exploration I would really like to do. I'd love to go down south a little bit more and do some exploring in this direction and see what we can come across. And then I'm thinking we're actually going to try to get into a magic mod, and we'll do a blend of the magic mod as well as trying to get into thermal series soon as well, so we can continue on the path of immersive engineering. Now, I am trying to lean towards things that I've really not done in the past, and this Ars Nueva, say it wrong every single time on purpose. This Ars mod, let's go with that. It's something that I haven't done before. I've seen it. It looks cool. It's about spells, and it reminds me a lot of like a wizard mod. I can't remember what it's called. Like now, Electroblob's wizardry. It reminds me a lot of that, but in all the colors that I love. Pinks and purples, man. Look at all these purples. Who doesn't love that? So yeah, that's the plan. I guess we'll start there before we go out and do any adventuring. So let's take a peek here. So this will give us obviously a little bit more explanation around it. With Ars, you will learn to harness the mana infused in all things to cast powerful spells, drive arcane machinery, and even to empower some cute friends along the way. These quests will guide you through the mod, but be sure to refer back to the manual regularly for extra information. Very much like all of the other mods that we've done here. And we actually get the book for this. This is actually surprising. I think it doesn't go into the tome because it is like a spell book. So if I go in here and nope, I want to click off of it. I always forget how to do it. Okay, yeah, it's not in here, which is very interesting. That looks cool. Spice of Life Carrot Edition. Now I'm getting distracted. Now I'm just looking up everything. We're going to need the engineer's manual, though, at some point. So I'll keep that on here. So we have our spell book, which is awesome. And we can open it up, and holy smokes, all right, this is a lot right off the bat. So again, guys, I am, like, this is brand new to me. So you'll have to bear with me as we kind of go through this together and figure out what we are doing. I'm not an expert. All right, so we have some different forms, effects, spell name clear. We have some different tabs over here. Interesting. Oh, okay, so it looks like we could kind of make our own spells. Let's go back into the quest line. Let's see what we have here. So we have 3 different routes that we can take. We have Enchanting Apparatus, which looks interesting. A mana relay, mana splitter. Don't know, look, casting, spell. Okay, interesting. Mana bloom seed, putting down the roots. Huh. What do we have over here? Boop in the snoot. Okay, this looks like this might lead down the line of like little friends that we could do, or a spell turret. That actually looks kind of cool, man. And then mana. I feel like we need to start with mana, right? Like if everything is generated upon mana, we really probably should start there, right? Mana is the driving energy behind every spell and arcane device in Ars, but it must be condensed out of the world to harness it for anything beyond simple spellcasting. Craft a mana condenser and a mana jar to begin. The mana gems required can be found while mining. We've gotten a couple of those along the way. To begin condensing mana, place the mana jar and then place the mana condenser on top of it. Mana is drawn from there. Mana is drawn from 3 primary sources. Crops advancing a growth stage, breeding animals, and killing mobs. Consider setting up near such places. Okay, so we'll definitely want to set this up by our farm. Now let's take a look here. We do have some Arcane Stone. We're going to have to figure out how to get that. I got so much stuff on my side panel that I've just saved from Immersive Engineering. You guys don't see like any of this because it's all behind the camera. But let's get rid of some of that junk here. And then we have our mana jar, which looks like we can just use glass. And we just still need this Arcane Stone. All right, so it looks like we still just use the mana gems, right? And that's pretty much the leading factor for it. So let's get going with that. All right, so Arcane Stone, this should be pretty straightforward to make. How much do we need in general? I feel like overall we'll need a good amount, but we just need 4 to start with. So we'll get 4. And we could see what all we have from ours as well, right? Not too much. All right. Because what is this from? That's from this mod. Yeah, the EMEN, which is what they use to kind of modify certain things to work within the mod pack, I see. Okay. Anyway, oh, you get 8 per. Wow, okay, I was not paying attention. Well, we'll just do it all, right? We got plenty of those, and we can get more. I've seen plenty of them as we've been out mining. I did also do a little bit of mining off camera. We'll get the mana jar here. That should be pretty straightforward. I got some glass that we did cook up. I actually have some more glass chilling here. We'll grab that, and we'll throw it in there. That'll be useful. I don't know if it got... No, okay. It just didn't generate it, right? All right, and we do actually need a hopper. I did not plan for that. Oh, I didn't even see that graphite there. All right, we should be able to grab one of those. We'll get a hooper going here. Yeah, I feel like it's like the speed upgrades are making things way, way nicer. So, all right, we'll request that. There we go. And we'll get the ball rolling with this. And there's our condenser. Perfect. Okay, so we have all of this. Now, what we want to do is put it down by our crops because that makes the most sense. And unfortunately, our crops are way down there. So we're going to head down there. We do need to get some better forms of transportation down here. And I do have some ideas, some recommendations of you people here on the channel as well. I think William might have mentioned there are some kind of sky hooks that we could potentially get up and going from immersive engineering that we could utilize. So that could be really cool. All right, I don't know what the range of this is, though. That's one of the things I'm a little bit concerned on, right? But I guess, I mean, for the time being, we'll set it up here, right? I want to find the center. What is this? The jar, and then we put the condenser on top of it. Okay. So if we come through here, right, and we start taking up some of these things, right? And we get all this stuff. Once this stuff starts growing, I didn't realize there's a patch there that we need to replace. Once this stuff starts growing, it should help build up that mana, from my understanding, right? All right, here we go. We're going places here. There we go. Look at that. We already had the animation for it. It's already picking up stuff. Is it getting dark already? No. Okay, I'm just going crazy. I needed to grab these tomatoes because we need to get some more pasta sauce going for some of the stuff that I've been making up at the base. Been making some good food up there. Again, I don't know what the range is of this, and it wasn't very specific on range or anything like that. Holy smokes, guys, I didn't realize how much we got stored up here. I'm just getting rid of these sesame seeds. I don't really need them, it's fine. I'm sure some of you guys will call me out in the comments down below saying that we need them or it makes sense to hold on to them. But I'm lazy. I don't want to deal with them right now. So we have so many seeds. This will be really good for making biodiesel. Don't get me wrong. But we've run out of space, so we need to put some stuff away here. Can we put all of these seeds away? Average seeds, cool. All right, I think that's everything. We'll put that up there. And we will get all the rest of the goodies. Oh, I hope I jumped. I realized I jumped and I didn't want to destroy our crops there. All right, are you getting some mana? We do have some mana in there. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm just going to get rid of these for the time being. And it does look like we are still getting some as it goes. So that is good. I just don't know. Again, it looks like it has some good range from it. So I don't know if it actually makes sense to maybe be put over there. We could even see over here, right? Like, we'll take some of this wheat down, and we'll see if it'll reach from over here. Because this would be good as well. I don't know, again, range, right? We'll take out a bunch of this corn. Grab all of these over here as well. I guess I could have cut away from this, but I'm trying to test it out with range, right? I want to see how this works. It does pull from over there. I'm guessing over there is going to be a little bit too far for it. But all right. Well, we did complete the quest. So We have mana generation now, and we're going to get 2 goodies. Farmer's Delight and a World Shaper's Syntax? Syntat? Ooh, cod and chips. That sounds fire. What is that? We'll need it. Actually, we'll need it eventually. It's from Botania. If we ever actually get into Botania, we will need it. Where did my sleeping bag go? There she be. Let's sleep through the night because it is actually getting dark out. Cool beans. I don't know. I really don't know what this is for. Whoa, okay. I don't know what I just did. All right, I'm just going to put it away. I don't want to mess with it because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so from there, we have a couple different things we could go, right? But I want to get to, like, actually being able to craft up some smelting. A flight one, that would be cool. Ooh, a lightning one. That would be interesting because I know that we could potentially generate some power from lightning, right? What is over here? Turret. The turret sounds really cool, though. That's why I'm like, it would be really cool to get this turret going. And I don't know if it works in the way that I want to, though. With a redstone pulse. I mean, it's kind of cool, but... Alright, well, let's take a look at some of these other things, right? Alright, guys, just sleeping through the night here. I did actually look a little bit more in the book. I did do a little bit more reading there. And opening it up. So by default, I think it's set to Shift C to open the book up. I changed mine to Shift O because for whatever reason it wasn't working. There must have been a conflict with it. But Shift and O together work for me opening the book. So we have these things here, but you can also click up here on the upper left-hand side, and it'll actually take you to the Worn notebook, which I must have overlooked. It might be actually in the tome, but this is what actually will help walk you through all the different items within the mod itself, which is really nice. Now, starting off with getting started, there's a whole bunch of stuff to go through here, so we're not going to go through everything, but basically, this will really help you get through actually starting off, right? Spell casting, spell mana, starter spells, and new spells. All of this stuff right here will help you. So to begin casting, it's going to talk to you on things here. Really good for you to read through it. I read through it. I'm not going to bore you guys by reading through it as well. So, but then moving on to actually spell mana, this talks on it as well, which is really nice. We kind of already dove into that, but if you want more info, great place to get it. And then starter spells and new spells. Now, for spell casting in general, so if we go into here, pretty much every single spell, you can put 10 spells in here. That's why there's 10 different tabs, right? You are going to want to start with a form and then an effect, right? So basically, you have projectile, touch, or self. So for us, let's use projectile, and then you use an effect, right? So for us, we're going to use break, right? And then we're going to hit name this test. That's going to be the name of this one. And we'll hit create. And as you can see, set to 1 is test. Now, if we come out here and we come over to this block, we can break it using our spell. Now, dirt is one thing, right? Let's use it on a piece of stone up here, right? Boom, broke it. Now, as you saw at the bottom left-hand side, we do actually have a mana bar, and it'll decrease based upon how much you are using to break that specific item, right? So we'll get rid of those. Really, really cool. Now, again, Shift O for us. We're going to clear this out. We're going to just hit create, and then it won't have anything in here for us, which is pretty cool. It's a really cool way to go about it. Now, obviously, as you guys can see going into the book, there's only 3 forms you start with and 2 effects. However, if you actually look at 4Rs within the JEI, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can get. So, in order to get some of these things, you actually need to craft them up. And you actually craft them up via this glyph press, which is pretty cool. So one that I do want to actually get up and going is the Glyph of Harvest. I feel like that'd be pretty cool to try to get. I don't know exactly how it'll work, but as you can see, you need a magic clay and an iron hoe in a glyph press, and you'll actually get that. Now, the magic clay itself is actually pretty straightforward to make. You can make it without the glyph press, but I have the glyph press sitting here in the crafting table, so we're going to craft it up. It's pretty straightforward. I used brass, a block of brass for this, because the other option is a block of iron, and I really wanted to save a lot of our iron. So we're going to get that. I do believe it actually is a progression, right? Right down here, the glyph press, keeping down the path that we actually started on. It'll accept up to 2 items, a type of clay and a reagent, which is pretty much what we saw there. We're going to have a type of clay, and then we're going to have that iron hoe, and it's going to give us the harvesting one. Now, this is going to give us a loot box there, which is pretty nice. Both are consumed along with a fair amount of mana from a nearby mana jar to create new glyphs. So we'll want to take this down to our area, down in our farming area. So what's next? Magic clay is actually next. So we'll get that up and going because we do need to do some of that. And it said 8 of it would progress it. So we'll put 8 there and we'll see how it goes, getting all of those together, and then we can actually progress to that next step. I've mentioned it many a time before, but I do want to reiterate, guys. Try to follow along with the quests and don't skip too many steps ahead in the quest line if you are following the quests, because it makes it a little bit more difficult to go back after the fact to complete some of those if you've already passed them up. So we did get the Glyph of Craft. So by working mana gems into clay, a focus can be formed which will aid in the aspiring magician to harness greater powers in order to learn new spells, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that did that. And then it moves us on to a marvelous clay. But we could also get flight. Spellcrafting is performed with the spell and book, so it would be a Glyph of Leap and a Slow Fall. So it's not really flight. It's pretty much what we can get from our paraglider. But we'll hold on to that. We do need the press. And then what else do we need? An iron hoe. That's what we needed. Do we happen to have one of those chilling in here? We do not. I don't think we have one in our backpack, do we? One that's like just a base. It doesn't look like it, unfortunately. So we'll just have to craft one up. Pretty easy. It does pain me to see my iron be utilized, but it's for the greater good. All right, downwards we go. Again, I really do want to get something different set up, but that might be in a different episode. There's so much stuff to do, guys, right? I want to do some adventuring. I don't think we're going to get to adventuring and exploration in this episode, unfortunately. You know, I want to try to get some better transportation. There's a ton of other mods to get into. Like, there's just so much stuff, and I can already tell that this mod right here is going to be, there's going to be a lot to it. So we'll place it right here. I don't think it actually connects into it. Is there like an interface, or do we just place the items? I guess we just place the items, maybe? Unless it has to go on top of it? Question mark? Right? So we have the jar there. I'm going to pop this off real quick. We need that. And I'll hold that as well. So if I put this on top, how does it... Oh, maybe I have to put it in below. How does this work? Figured it out. You have to put the clay first, and then you put the item on top of it. And then it'll give it to you. I don't know if we necessarily had to have it up there or not. I'm guessing we probably could have had it right next to it like this, and it'd be fine. It did use up a good amount of mana, as you can see there. It's a little bit lower down, but not too low. All right, so all you got to do then is right-click on the spell once you have it. And then what we can do is actually go in here, and as you can see, we now have the Harvest spell, which is awesome. So I am curious if we use that and Harvest. This is going to be our Harvest spell. We'll hit create, and all we got to do, I think, can we projectile it? We can. Oh, that's pretty sick. Can you? Oh my gosh. That used up all our mana, but we could use our what's it called? I already forgot what it's called. The Vein Miner, or the Feed the Beast, whatever it's called, to actually harvest up all of these things, which is crazy. That's so nice. I think we might actually be able to do that without using this and just using a normal hoe, but it's still something that's really, really cool. to be able to try out, right? To be able to see. And we're collecting so much good stuff, guys. Like, so much good stuff. And then our mana does regen, as you can see there, which is pretty nice. And we'll grab all that. Now, will it work on this? I don't think it'll work on these ones. Oh, that actually took up a lot of mana to do that. Interesting. Yeah, it won't work on some these industrial hemp ones, but it works on pretty much everything else, which is really nice to see. Will it work on these trees and these bushes? It will. Okay, that's really cool. Don't know if it will work on the trees, though. Something next that we'll find out. Okay, it will. But very similar to just like us being able to do it on our own, right? Nothing too crazy. I do also need to unlock this. Now, I wonder if there is a... We do have a craft one, which is really nice. That means we could probably do remote crafting, right? So if we go here and we just want to do self and then craft, and then we'll name this as crafting, and we hit create. How do we siphon or cycle? How do we siphon? How do we cycle through it? So let's go into here. We'll go to category, right? Spellbook, next slot, X and Z, it looks like. All right, so if we hit X and Z, all right, that's pretty cool. It switches us over between them. And if I do that, boom, we have a portable crafting table. Now, it does use up a little bit, it uses up a decent amount of mana, actually, to open it up. But once it's open, it's not like it's depleting all of your mana to just leave it open, which is very convenient that it doesn't do that, because that would be quite annoying, and you really wouldn't be able to get much done, would you? Now, I wonder if there is a, like, distance, right? Like a wider range. There's the Glyph of Amplified, which is pretty cool sounding. The delay, there's a lot of different ones, and this is kind of cool. This reminds me a lot of the PSI mod, I think it was. I don't remember. It was like a magical mod that we used in Ocean Outlast. It was very, very complex, but a similar idea where you combine these different steps to basically make your own magic and your own spells, which is awesome. We could heal ourselves. Wow, there's a lot. Extended time, touch, the Glyph of Ruin, Slow Fall, Freeze, Ignite, which is pretty cool, Strength, Flare, Glyph of Light, Delay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Invisibility, Cut, Harm. Like, oh my gosh, guys. Like, the possibilities on this are just endless with what we could come up with. And that is something really cool. I'm excited to dive more into this, and I know that there's a lot more that we could really do with it, other than just spells. So let's take a look at the actual progression here. So we do have the spell of smelting. That's actually very interesting. Comes the ability to channel more potent abilities. So increasing our spellbook. What is this? The Marvelous is built from the Mundane. Marvelous Clay unlocks the creation of tier 2 spells. These also require an apprentice's spellbook to cast. Okay, so a mage's spellbook. Oh god, did I break it? The mage's, so we take the novice one, and then we have to combine it with blaze rods and quartz and all this jazz, which we definitely don't have on ours right now. The what is this? Not every practitioner is born with a green thumb. Thankfully, mana trickles out of molten lava. This could be good as well, because we could put that in the nether, potentially. And then there's also this one. Arcane crystals can also be crystallized directly from the surrounding mana. Okay. So if you needed to create crystals, you could do it that way. I'm interested to go down this path, right? I would really like to get into this where we can do some more automation, right? We could get a turret going. We do have to put this in a enchanting apparatus, so I guess we'd have to go down this path first. Get an arcane core, the apparatus, and then 8 pedestals. Wow, we're gonna have to look in the book for this one, I guess. If I go to open here, apparatus crafting. So we do all that. How does this need to be set up? Well, that's not very specific. Utilizes pedestals and world mana for crafting. To use the enchanting apparatus, place any number of arcane pedestals nearby with their items. Place your reagent items on the enchanting apparatus block and interact with the block while blah 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 blah. Okay, we could totally do that. But I think we're gonna have to do it in the next episode, guys. I feel like we didn't really get much done today. Like we started getting into this mod. I talked a lot and a lot of things. I guess we did do a lot of things in hindsight. We're getting into a new mod. It's a learning curve for myself, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me as we go through it. I'm gonna have to remember that we need to click off of it. Like if we want to open it, we have to hit Shift and O, and that'll open it up for us. I guess we could do like Shift and right click if we really wanted to. Can I do that? Controls, categories, Rs, shit. Can I do? No. Okay, I can do Shift and O though. Okay. Well, that works, I guess. Whatever, man. But yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up there, guys. So thanks for tuning in today. I think in the next episode, we'll try to expand on this mod a little bit more. I'll do some more research on it, so I'm not coming to the table completely blindsided by it. But it's a really cool mod. I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it as well. We'll also continue to work on our immersive engineering stuff. We're not losing track of that. There's still stuff we need to do. We do need to get into thermal series as well, so don't worry, we'll be getting into that relatively soon as well. And I'd also like to hear some feedback, right, guys? Obviously, we switched it up and we went into a little bit of a magic mod. Do you guys like the blend of mods all at one time, or do you like a little bit more focus and depth of each mod, if that makes sense? So like spending a good amount of time on like immersive engineering, and then once we get to a good point with that, or to an end point with that, for the most part, we switch over to, let's say, you know, the Rs mod, or we switch over to Bs. Like, let me know. I'd be interested to hear. It sounds like a blend is more so what I've heard thus far, but I'd be interested to put the question out there officially to you guys. If you guys are new here and you do want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. Let you know every single time a new episode is posted here on the channel. We do stream over on Twitch, usually on Mondays and Fridays at about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that is always subject to change. So if you do want to keep up to date with any of those scheduling changes for the stream or for YouTube over here, feel free to join in the community Discord. I do post updates over there, and there's a bunch of cool people that hang out, show off their builds, and just chit chat. So it's a good time over on the community Discord. Both of those links can be found in the description down below. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I struggled my way through the beginning of the Ars mod. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.